Some guys really got into sports.
Right.
I was never good at sports. Losing my legs didn't make me better at sports. So,
it didn't?
No, believe it or not, no. It's never helped me to look back too much on what maybe I lost or what could have been. I just focus on what I hope to gain in the future. That was a couple months after my injury. I was doing physical therapy, and I hear somebody say, "Hey, it's Lieutenant Dan." And I look over and I see him, and I tell my wife, "That's effing Lieutenant Dan." Yeah.
That was my same reaction. Truly the same reaction.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to GSF Podcast, sponsored by the Gary Sinise Foundation's Education and Outreach Initiative, aiming to educate the public on the importance of serving America's veterans, first responders, and their families.
Welcome to the Gary Sinise Foundation podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Kampsnyder. We've taken the podcast on the road to San Diego to visit a number of our incredible heroes in their specially adapted mortgage-free homes, or as we refer to them, our RISE recipients. Today, I am here with fellow United States Marine Corporal Jose Armenta. While serving in Afghanistan as a canine handler, Jose was severely wounded by an IED, resulting in the loss of both his legs. But he didn't let that stop him. His Marine mindset carried him through recovery, and his loyal working dog, Zenit, played a critical role in his journey, both then and now, as Jose continues to inspire others with every step forward. Thank you for letting us take over your home, Jose, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Jose, I was there for your home dedication when you received this new home. And one of my favorite memories of the day was when your eldest son asked to give a speech. He didn't have anything prepared. He just spoke from the heart. And I feel like it was just such a beautiful moment. And you applied to the program so that you could have a safe home to raise your kids. What did that moment and that day mean to you?
It was incredible. It was surreal to, it's something that we had been thinking about and excited about for months, working to that point. And so when that day came, it was really emotional. My eyes got sweaty quite a bit, and I wasn't expecting that, but it was really emotional. And the whole support that the community came together, and there were so many supporters there, and it's just such a unique and powerful experience.
Yeah. How has your life changed since moving into your home?
Things are a lot easier now.
Are they?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, the smart home. So if I forget to turn off the lights and I'm in bed and my legs are off, I don't have to try to put them on or jump in my wheelchair, so I can
turn
off the lights or turn on the AC with the phone, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
So a lot of those small things that really add up to make a big impact. Those things, those small little barriers are gone. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, they're like little things that remind you of your injuries in a way.
Yeah, it's the small things.
What is your favorite part of the house?
Yeah.
Or do you have a favorite part?
I have a lot of favorite parts. I think the smart system, so being able to control the blinds and whatnot, and the lights.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. because I don't have to try to, get behind furniture and get my wheelchair behind the couch, right? And
right.
So those little barriers that kind of become a challenge in your daily life, those things are gone. So that's my favorite part, the smart technology.
Do your kids have a favorite part of the house?
Oh, the backyard.
Of course.
Yeah, 2 boys. They love playing in the backyard.
I'm sure it's hard to get them to come back in.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so what inspired you to join the Marine Corps?
I wanted to join the military as a kid. As far back as I can remember, I was that kid playing with the little what is it? The little army
G.I. Joes or something?
Those little green ones.
Yes, the little army guys. I was playing
Toy
with them
Story,
too.
right? Yeah, so I was playing with those little guys. So I knew I wanted to join the military from as far back as I can remember. And my grandfather, he was in the Army. He talked about it. And so when I was old enough to kind of understand the different branches and stuff like that, I knew I wanted to be a Marine.
Really? Army history, Marine Corps. Why the Marine Corps?
After doing research, it looked like the Marine Corps was the hardest challenge. And I know a lot of folks are going to argue with that, but
there's no arguments with me. Trust me, I agree with you.
That's what the consensus was that I found. The Marine Corps was the hardest, and so I wanted to take up that challenge.
Yeah, the best of the best.
Yeah, exactly.
What drew you to become a canine handler?
So I didn't go in thinking I was going to be a canine handler. My plan was to join, to serve a term, and then to get out and become a police officer. And so that's why I went military police. And then when I was in military police school, the opportunity came to apply into the canine program. And so I applied and I was accepted.
How is the training for that? Is it much different? I mean, they're teaching you to train the dogs, or are they?
It's more handling the dogs, not training the dogs.
Okay.
I mean, you have to understand the training because there might be some issues you have to work around, but it's more just learning the dog and handling how to work with a dog. That's what the school is about, learning bite work, right? How to send a dog to bite a suspect or an insurgent, right? Or how to find explosives or narcotics, right? When you're in the school, you're not sure where you're going to end up, so you're learning kind of the different aspects of being a dog handler.
Oh, wow. Do you get bitten, like as part of the training, like you have to be the one, or is it just you're training them to go after?
No, you have to. That's part of being a handler. Is you're gonna work with other dog handlers, and so you have to be a decoy, right? So you put on the bite
so you're
suit.
running, like it's coming.
You put the sleeve on and the bite suit. You run, and
you
learn how to catch a dog. It's called catching a dog. Yeah.
Is that terrifying in some way?
At first, it's a little scary because you got this big German Shepherd.
It's coming after you.
Yeah, it's coming. You're like, well, is he gonna bite the sleeve that I have, or is he gonna bite my other arm, right?
You're like this. Take this.
Yeah. But no, fortunately, the dogs know where to bite.
Okay, good. So they're
trained. Yeah, they're well trained.
Okay, can you tell us do they have different personalities, the different dogs, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're just like people. They all have their own personalities. Some are nice dogs, and some are not so nice dogs. So yeah, they all have their own personalities.
Did you see that firsthand, or was it more other people's dogs?
Both. So in the dog school, I had 2 dogs during that program. There's a patrol side where you're learning the attacking part, where you're teaching the dog how to attack someone and find a person.
Yeah.
So you have 1 dog for that part of the program, and then there's the detection side where you're looking for explosives or narcotics, and you have a different dog for that.
So they have like their own MOSs only.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
they pick dogs that have that as their strong suit, so that you can have a strong dog to learn with, versus a dog who's maybe not as good in that area, and then it's harder for you to learn.
Is it innate for them, or do you think it's a breed?
I think it's probably unique to the dog, and what their drive is.
Yeah.
Right. They all have their own personality. Some dogs love biting.
Yeah.
Some dogs don't like biting. They prefer to search for a scent and to be rewarded for the search.
Oh, yeah. I saw an article where you talked about one of the dogs that you trained with, and that he preferred biting.
Oh, my first dog, Troy. Yeah. My first dog, Troy, was a 90-pound Belgian Malinois, and he loved to bite. Yeah, I wouldn't say he was mean, but he loved to bite. He loved that part of the job, and
You said a line that you said, it was like his chocolate, and I cackled out.
Yeah, no, that was his jam. He loved it. And so, he was good at it.
Yeah. Tell us about Zenit. Was Zenit the same way? Or?
No, Zenit was a complete opposite. Zenit was a German Shepherd, and he did not like the bite work.
He didn't like the bite work.
I had to work hard to get him to bite. We worked on it a lot, and he became proficient in it, but he wasn't very good at it. He didn't enjoy that part. He wasn't an aggressive dog. He was a big puppy. I say he was he snuck into the dog program, right?
He snuck into. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, I swear I belong.
Yeah. So he wasn't an aggressive dog. He was a very calm, chill dog, and so they're very different.
And you had to work with him to get to that point?
Yeah, so part of the job as a dog handler is you're assigned a dog, and when I got to Okinawa, Japan, I had a pick between a few number of dogs, and I picked Zenit because he was a German Shepherd and I hadn't worked with a German Shepherd yet, so I picked him.
Yeah.
And then once you get the dog, you kind of test them out and see where they're strong, their strengths and their weaknesses are, and then you try to bring them up to snuff because you're gonna have to test with them. Pass a test so that you can go and deploy and do your job.
Wow. Oh.
So I had to, make sure he was proficient in all areas so that we could pass our tests.
Because the goal is to get deployed. Right,
yeah.
Right, okay. And so you deployed to Afghanistan with Zenit?
With Zenit, yeah.
With Zenit. What was that bond like with him while deployed?
It got stronger. So that was my first deployment, right? I had been in about 4 years at that point, and I had been passed over for a couple of deployments. Things didn't work out. I was supposed to go to Iraq in 2009, and then 2009 is when they had the drawdown, and so the numbers got cut in half, and I didn't get to go to Iraq. And I was supposed to go to Afghanistan with Troy in 2010, but I got orders to Okinawa, Japan instead. So I kept missing the chance to go. So I didn't know what it was going to be like. So Zenit and I had worked for about a year before deploying, and we had a good bond, we had a good relationship, but it was professional, right? I wasn't, some dog handlers and the dogs get very personal, but I kept kind of a distance. My belief was like, we need to keep it professional because we're going to work better that way.
Right.
And so once we were deployed though, it changed. We became closer, and we understood each other a lot better. Yeah, I guess spending time sleeping together, eating together, right? Spending every moment together, we really had this unspoken understanding of each other. It was very unique.
When they're not working, is it just like a normal dog? Because I think military working dogs, you just think that they're working dogs. But is there a moment where you're just like, oh, it's a dog? Like they're able to have fun or?
Well, the whole work is fun for them, right? It's a job. If it's not fun, they're not going to do it, right? So although they're working, it's still fun for them. In their head, it's a game.
Okay.
We see it as they're working. They see it as I'm playing a game.
This is a game.
Yeah.
How interesting.
So, but they're never really just a dog.
Okay.
Right. At least not while they're in the military. When Zenit got out, he retired, and I took him home. Then he became a dog, right? Or just a puppy,
Cool.
But while he was working, there's definitely a difference in their attitude and how they carry themselves.
How did Zenit shape your experience in combat?
Yeah, it's really unique because, from the job, what I'm doing is different from the other Marines. I mean, we're all on patrol, we're all looking for insurgents, and in that way it's the same, but I'm also with my dog and I have to care for my dog.
Totally.
Right? He's my priority, is to care for him. So in that aspect, it's a lot different where I have unique duties that I have to, and unique responsibilities. But also I have this familiar friend that I wouldn't say a friend, but a partner, right? We weren't friends at that point. We were partners. At that point, I had a partner that I would take with me and be able to go into these unfamiliar places. So it gave me some comfort, because as dog handlers, we get attached to units we never worked with before, right? So we're the unfamiliar guy. So, right, when I go to Afghanistan as the dog handler, I will get attached to units that I've never met before, and they're a platoon that have worked together for probably years.
So they're like a family.
Yeah, and I'm the new guy, so it's just me and Zenith that know each other, right? So that's where it's kind of unique. Eventually, I get to know the platoon and we become a unit, but starting off, it's just me and Zenith in an unfamiliar place.
Oh, and so your bond gets even...
Yeah, even stronger. Yeah.
Did your relationship with Zenith, I mean, obviously impacted you in the uniform.
Yeah.
Did it impact you out of uniform?
Well, once I retired, yeah, absolutely. Once I retired, our bond became stronger, and you know, we became friends versus working partners, right?
Yeah.
We went from colleagues to friends, right, to family, and so that's where it was unique, and that's where I really got to enjoy building a stronger relationship with him. Was once we were out at home, and I got to see him change, and he got to see me change. And then I got to introduce him to my family once we started having kids, and he changed once he met Eliana, my wife, and once she was pregnant, he changed, and he would start to sleep on her side of the bed when she was pregnant, you know, which was really funny to see, and
he's protective.
He knew, and it's just I got to see this totally different side of him. Yeah. And then once we had our first child, he went and started sleeping in front of their door in the house.
Stop.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He was still working in a way.
Yeah, well, he understood that we had a new pack member, right?
Right.
And he wanted to make sure they were safe, so. It was,
we don't deserve dogs.
No. Yeah.
Tell us about the day you were injured.
So I was injured on August 28, 2011. I was attached to 3rd Recon Battalion, Charlie Company, 1st Platoon, and a great group of guys, a bunch of studs. These guys it was an honor to work with them. We had been in country for about 3 months at that point, and we were in Sangin, which was pretty hot at the time, but we had done really well up to that point. No one in our platoon was injured, and we hadn't come across a lot of IEDs to that point. But we got intel that day that we had killed enough of the Taliban cell in our area that they were leaving the area. So they were ineffective at that point. But that as a last-ditch effort, they were gonna plant IEDs all over the AO to try to, you know, inflict as much harm on us as possible. So we knew going out on this mission that the IED threat was gonna be really high. So it's funny because this was the first day that I put on my blast boxers. Yeah, and I tell this story all the time. So it was the first day I put on my blast boxers, which are Kevlar underwear, like, you know, to protect your, you know what, from blast. So after we got the intel, I put on my blast boxers, start prepping for the mission. We go out on the mission, and we come up to this canal that we have come across many times before. It's a big old canal. It's empty. There's no water in it. It's about 10 feet deep, 12 feet wide, trees along both sides. So you could hold on to the tree and then use the roots to climb down into the canal. But that's an easy entry point. So we know it's probably gonna be booby trapped. So we don't take that, we just jump into the canal. And I start pushing south with my platoon. I work with a point man who has a metal detector. So I send Zenit, and then the point man, Ryan, he has a metal detector, and then I walk behind Ryan. That way we have two tools between us and a potential IED, right? Zenit sniffing, and then the metal detector. And once we get in the canal, we move maybe 10 feet, and then Ryan says, hey, I think I got one. And actually, I'm gonna back up before that. Before we even entered the canal, we had an EOD team with us, attached to us because of the high IED threat. And we found an IED right before we got into the canal, and we blew it. So before we even got in the canal, we found an IED.
So you're like, it's confirmed. This is gonna be,
they're gonna be everywhere.
They're everywhere.
So, and by we, I mean that EOD tech found the IED right before we got into the canal. So they blow it, we start pushing. I send Zenit down, Ryan, then myself, we start searching. We move about 10 feet into the canal. Ryan says, hey, I think I got one. I go over, and he's pointing at the roots of a tree, and I see the tape and the wire and the wood, and I know it's a pressure plate. And so we mark it, and we start to push. And as we start to push, I look over at Zenit, and he's gone stiff, which is what we call change of behavior. So that's how he tells me he's caught the scent of something, is when he goes stiff and he doesn't move a muscle and he stares at where the scent is coming from. And that's about 10 feet down to the left side of the canal. Right now we're on the right side. So I walk over to Zenit, I look where he's staring, and I see tape and wood. I know it's another pressure plate. And it's also at the root of a tree. Ryan calls me and says that there's another one. He's moved to the next tree about 5 feet. There's another pressure plate. I moved to the next tree, there's another pressure plate. And so it's obvious that this whole canal is a minefield to put IEDs all throughout it. So we mark them and we start pushing down towards our objective, which was to take over a compound in that area. We come across this embankment, so it slopes right into the canal. It's an easy way just to walk into the canal. And so we know it's gonna be booby trapped. So Ryan goes to search the top of this embankment. I search the bottom, and I send Zenit up the bottom, and he walks up the canal, and I follow him. And I take about 2 steps, and then next thing you know, my ears are ringing, and I feel like I'm on fire. I'm stiff as a board, and I know instantly I've stepped on a landmine. And I'm looking up at the sky, and Ryan, he gets knocked back into the canal from the blast. It was about 10 pounds of homemade explosives. So it's a pretty big blast. He gets knocked back into the canal. He shakes it off, and then comes and starts to administer first aid. Zenit lays down by my side. Zenit wasn't hurt, thankfully.
And you could tell. Were you awake at this time?
I was awake. I was awake while Ryan was performing first aid. And I told him I couldn't breathe because dirt got blown into my face and my mouth, and my Kevlar vest, which are pretty heavy, right? 10 pounds. It was pushed on my neck. And so he cut it off of me. But I was on the ground for 2 hours before a chopper got there.
Get out of here. 2 hours?
Yeah, because the medevac was picking up another Marine that got blown up just south of us. It was a grunt unit. And so it took them 2 hours to get to me. By the time they got to me, I was kind of in and out of consciousness. Luckily, we had a really good doc. We had the EOD doc. And I think if he hadn't been there, then I would have been a goner. So I was fortunate.
Did you notice the extent of your injuries while you're laying there, or?
No, because I couldn't move.
Okay.
I had shrapnel wounds to both arms. My thumb was hanging off. My whole body was messed up because of the blast. And so I couldn't move to look at myself. But I was asking Ryan, I was like, do I still have my legs? And he was treating me for shocks. He was like, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah, you're fine.
Just lay here. It's good.
So I didn't know. I didn't find out that I was missing my legs until I woke up 5 days later in Germany. They put me in a coma, and I woke up, and that's when they told me. And it didn't really hit me because I was so medicated, right? I was like, well, at least I could do push-ups or pull-ups, more pull-ups now that I'm lighter.
Oh my gosh, just get out of here.
So, I was just...
I'm gonna like max.
Yeah, I was thinking about my PFT.
You're like, I'm gonna get a 300 PFT so fast. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Of course.
Yeah.
When did it finally sink in?
It slowly sunk in. I was in the hospital for about a month after that, getting surgery after surgery because I was fighting an infection. So it was sinking in slowly, but didn't really hit home until I left the hospital.
Really?
Yeah, when I left the hospital, and we went to a barracks there at the hospital because I was outpatient. We didn't have a house or anything. So they moved us into kind of a dorm style, right, barracks, my wife and I. And there was a kitchen and a kitchenette. And that's when I had to start living on my own. And I realized how much of my independence I lost. Right? I couldn't grab a bowl of cereal from the counter and take it to the table, right? So that's when it hit home. When I was trying to carry a bowl of cereal and I couldn't, and I dropped it all over the floor, and I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I can't even carry a bowl of cereal. So that's when it hit home.
What was the toughest part of your recovery journey? Was it that?
It was that, yeah. It was a realization that I went from being a warrior,
Yeah.
you know, protecting my country, to a 23-year-old kid who can't even carry a bowl of cereal, you know. That was tough.
How did you move through that?
So, you know, it took some time, right? It took some time. But, you know, fortunately, you know, I give a lot of credit to the Marine Corps. You know, I drank the Kool-Aid, right? I drank the Kool-Aid in the Marine Corps. And,
I did too.
and you know that we believe in having a mission and then moving towards that mission, and staying laser focused on that. And so I just focused on progress, right? If I could just get to this point, then I'm going to focus on that. And so that's what I started to do, just find a point of reference and stay, you know, targeted on that and work towards that, and then kind of everything else in the background, shut it out and just stay focused on that. So that's what I did.
Marine mindset, essentially.
Yeah, pick a target, work towards that target, and then you know, everything else will, you know, fall into place.
And it doesn't matter if it's small goals.
Yeah, small goals are the best ones, because then you can kind of reach them quicker and get rejuvenated and recharged with each step that you get, you know, that you make. So
yeah, and make new ones. So it helped you in your recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, at first I didn't think that I was suited for it. I was like, you know, they trained me for combat, but nobody trained me for what do you do if you're injured. You know?
Right.
But I didn't realize that I was using that training. I was working towards these goals, and I was adapting and overcoming without even realizing it, right? I was just finding targets and say, hey, I just want to be able to get better at my physical therapy. I just want to get some shorties, which are like short prosthetics.
Right, yes.
Yeah, little prosthetics that you get so you can work on balance. I just want to get those. Once I got the shorties, I just want to get regular prosthetics like the ones I'm wearing today, right? And then once I got the prosthetics, I want to stop walking without 2 canes. And then I want to get rid of the 1 cane. And so you just give yourself these goals and focus on that. Focus on the things you can control.
Right.
You know?
That is extraordinary how you shifted that Marine mindset, which is so distinct while you're in the Marine Corps, and then shifted it into your recovery journey.
Yeah, I didn't even realize I was doing it, right? I just, and I guess it was just autopilot at that point.
Yeah. So even though you returned home, Zenith stayed behind.
That's right.
In Afghanistan.
Yeah. So I got hurt midway through the deployment at about the 3-month point, and then Zenith was assigned to another handler whose dog wasn't working. I think the dog just decided he didn't want to work anymore. Maybe it wasn't fun. Maybe he got scared. I'm not sure. You know, fortunately for me, with the explosions and gunfire, didn't faze Zenith. A lot of times they say the emotions run up leash. So if you're calm, your dog looks to you and he's like, okay, if he's calm, I'm calm.
Interesting.
So maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know,
Right.
but nothing fazed Zenith. He was fine.
Says a lot about you.
Maybe. But again, Zenith got assigned to this other dog handler, and they finished up the deployment. And I wasn't too happy with that because I was worried about Zenith at that point.
Because you've developed this deeper bond.
Yeah. After I was injured, I started to come to the realization that we weren't just colleagues. You know, we had become friends and family, and so I started working on the process of getting him retired.
Okay, so tell us about bringing Zenith home.
So they got back from the deployment. I think it was in December, somewhere around there, 2011. I went and met them in 29 Palms. I saw Zenith. I was a little.
What was that like?
Yeah, I was a little nervous. I was like, he's gonna remember me, you know. Maybe he jumped ship and he's
Never.
The dog. Maybe he's dog for this other dog handler, you know.
Maybe he fed him enough treats.
But you know, that wasn't the case. You know, he jumped up on my wheelchair. I was in my wheelchair.
Stop. Oh my
He jumped up on my
gosh.
wheelchair and started licking me, and it was a good feeling.
He just knew. He knew he was home.
Yeah,
He knew he was with.
and I didn't get to take him at that point. That was just me being there when he got back from Afghanistan. He was still Marine Corps property, right? And so he stood there in 29 Palms for about a year, maybe a little less than a year, while I worked through the paperwork of getting him retired.
Yeah.
And then that paperwork, I finally got the phone call I think it was about 7 months later, Dad told me, hey, you could come pick him up. And so,
goodness.
yeah, we were excited. We said, we'll be there in a few hours.
Yeah.
You know, we jumped in the car and went and got him.
Well, this podcast is in honor of Mac, Gary's son.
Yeah.
And family was so important to Mac that even when he was fighting his arduous battle with cancer, he pushed to have the family move so that they could all be together.
Yeah.
It just meant everything to him. So what did it mean to you to have Zenit home and now your whole family is together?
Yeah, it was special. Well, when we picked up Zenit, I didn't have any children, right?
Yeah.
It was me and Eliana. And so it was just the three of us, but that was special to have him back. It was also special, like I said, when we started to grow our family and to see him be such a great member of that family, trying to protect the kids and sleep outside their bed or sleep next to Eliana when she was pregnant, right? It was really special to see. And I'm grateful for being able to see that.
Were you worried at all?
Yeah, I was worried because I was worried about how those two parts of my life were going to intermingle, right? My military working dog that I trained to attack, right?
Right.
And how he was going to interact with my wife and with my kids eventually.
The kids.
And so I
And
gave
kids can be like, they can test some patience.
they test everyone's patience, right? So when we picked him up, I kind of gave Eliana the spiel. Look, this is what you don't do, right, with the dog. But he became a big old puppy. Like he threw the working dog out the window. As soon as we picked him up, he was like, "I'm retired."
He knew the assignment.
He knew the assignment. So none of the spiel I gave Eliana was necessary. He was just a dog. Once we picked him up, and once the kids came into the picture, he was just a big old puppy. All he did was play catch all day. That's all he wanted to do. That's all he wanted to do was play catch.
German Shepherds.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
He would sleep with the ball in his mouth. You know?
No.
Yeah.
In his mouth?
Yeah, in his mouth. He would not let that ball go.
He'd be dreaming about it.
Yeah. And wake up and, oh, thank God I still have it, you know?
Oh, what's this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite memory with him, whether it be in the military or at home?
Yeah, that's a hard one. There's so many good memories. I think just playing catch with him. Playing catch with him. He was relentless in playing catch. I'd be sitting on the couch and he'd bring his ball and just drop it next to me. And then I'm watching my show, I'm ignoring him. And he comes in and he pushes the ball with his nose, you know, like, hello.
Did you know this is here?
So, yeah, those are my favorite memories, just him being a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you meet Gary? Was it at the hospital?
It was at the hospital. It's that picture right there. I was in the PT.
Look at your baby.
Yeah.
You both are.
Yeah, we both are. You know, that was probably a couple months after my injury. I was doing physical therapy, and I hear somebody say, "Hey, it's Lieutenant Dan." And I look over and I see him, and I tell my wife, "That's effing Lieutenant Dan." Yeah. That
was my same reaction. I try to tell people like I dropped the F-bomb, but it was truly the same reaction.
It was awesome. And he, I never met him before. I knew he was a celebrity, so I figured, he's gonna come do a photo shoot and just, leave.
Nope.
But that wasn't what he was there for. At this point, this was 2011, so the war was really going on in Afghanistan, so there was a lot of us injured. The physical therapy room was full. There was about 5 patients for every physical therapist.
Oh, man.
So there was probably about 30 of us in this room. And he went to every single person and wanted to get to know them and talk to them for like, 10, 15 minutes. And that surprised me. I was like, this guy's legit, right? So that was a good time. I enjoyed our conversation. And I think I remember someone having to pull him away because he just wanted to stay there and talk to everybody.
That sounds like Gary. That's exactly it. He's like, nope, I'm just spending time here and just, wanting to get to know you and hear about just you. Yeah. You said that, there's so many warriors in that room. Was there a lot of camaraderie?
There was. A lot of us were from different units. Yeah. So, we didn't know each other, but we had a shared understanding, right? Nobody knows what it's like to to lose your legs unless you've also lost your legs, right?
Okay.
And so we have a shared respect and kind of love for each other because we had that shared hardship.
Yeah.
Right. So to this day, I still go and you know, we'll see some of the guys that I met in the hospital, and we see each other at the the Gary Sinise Foundation events and whatnot. And so that's always it's always a great experience to see those guys again because, you know, we have that shared experience.
I feel like as a veteran or even service member, you already have this bond, and especially Marine Corps. I mean, you have just this deep bond, but it seems even deeper than that.
Yeah, I think so. Just because we have that deep understanding of I know what you're going through, right? I know what you went through, and I know what you're going through right now. And so just having that understanding really bonds you with people. Yeah. Even if it's unspoken, you know that you guys have that shared understanding.
Yeah. It's like you have the same communication.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
You don't have to, I guess, explain everything.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to maybe some of our listeners who are embarking maybe their own healing journey and it's difficult?
Yeah. Well, you know, all I know is what worked for me, and that's just try not to look back, right? It's never helped me to look back too much on what maybe I lost or what could have been. I just focus on what I hope to gain in the future. So my attitude is to always look forward and always have a new mission that I'm working towards, right? Give myself as much responsibility as I can take on, and try to do as much as I can. And that keeps me busy, and it gives me a purpose, and it gives me something to work towards. And I feel like progress is what helps me feel fulfilled.
Oh, and that's beautifully said. It's like acceptance, and from acceptance, you can go forward.
Yeah.
After retirement, you returned to school.
Yeah. You know, some guys hit the, I remember saying this, some guys really got into sports.
Right.
I was never good at sports. Losing my legs didn't make me better at sports. So,
it didn't?
No, believe it or not, no. So I didn't go toward the sports route. I went the book route. I just started studying and went back to school. And that's where I put up my efforts, and that's where I try to make progress.
Yeah, what do you do?
Finance. I'm a financial planner, so I went back and studied finance.
Yeah, and you serve others now.
I serve others, yeah. I'm a financial planner for civilian federal employees. And
is that important to you?
It is, yeah. I wanted to, so, you know, growing up, I had kind of a rough upbringing. Money was scarce.
Okay. And
so I learned early on the importance of financial literacy. And so when I left the military, I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew I needed to manage my money wisely. And so I started reading up on money, picking up the Finance for Dummies books, right? And at the time, I was a dispatcher. So when I left the Marine Corps and I was retired, I became a police dispatcher.
Oh, wow.
And so there was a lot of downtime.
That's heavy too.
Yeah. Well, I was fortunate to become a police dispatcher on a Marine Corps base here. Oh. So I got to work with Marines and civilian federal employees, federal police officers. And as the dispatcher, I was working 10-hour shifts, midday. So I was working to about 1 or 2 in the morning, and there's a lot of downtime. So I was just reading on my downtime, reading the Finance for Dummies and Investing for Dummies. And after reading enough of these books, I had police officers come and ask me questions. Hey, Jose, what's investing, or what's an ETF? And so I would answer these questions, and it felt good to be able to help folks. And at the time, I was thinking, well, I need to figure out what I'm going to do next, because I don't plan on being a dispatcher for my entire life. And so I had an epiphany. I said, okay, I'm going to become a financial planner. And as I learned more about it, and I knew what route I wanted to take, and the rest is history, I guess.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So what advice, do you have like one piece of advice that you would, I'm sure you get asked this like all the time. Like,
yeah.
What is it?
Well, I think the best advice I give to folks is, live below your means, right?
It's hard.
Yeah.
We're consumer,
Yeah, you're
culture.
right. Yeah, we're a consumption culture. So live below your means, right? Spend less than you make, and then you'll have some left over to maybe save for emergencies and to save for future goals.
That makes sense, especially if you grew up in a way where it's just, fiscally consciousness is it's kind of in your bones.
Yeah.
For those who have never served, what's the one thing that you wish that they better understood about the military and the sacrifices involved?
I think the thing that's overlooked the most is that just because the war has ended, that doesn't mean that the challenges of a lot of the wounded warriors has gone away, right?
Right.
A lot of the guys that have lost their legs or have lost more than 2 limbs, right? 3 or 4 limbs, or who are, wheelchair bound. Those challenges are lifelong. So some of those sacrifices, although they've already been made, those challenges that they have to live with are ongoing and are going to continue to be ongoing for the rest of their lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because it's not in the news and might be out of the consciousness, it doesn't mean that the challenges and like the thing, all of it's still going on.
Yeah.
Looking back, what role did organizations like the Gary Sinise Foundation play in your journey forward?
Yeah, they were enormous in my recovery. Everything from mobility devices, right, to get around and to have the tools needed to kind of overcome obstacles, to having a smart home that eliminates a lot of the daily challenges that really are where you feel the impact of your injury. Without those support systems, trying to move towards your next goal would be a lot harder. So they've made my progress much easier for me.
That's exactly the way it's supposed to be. There are so many people who are listening who are supporters of the organization, being able to hear from you the actual impact that it's made, and especially being in your home. It's that's what it's all about. That's the heart of the mission right there. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Jose, and letting us take over your house and for sharing your incredible story. You are the true embodiment of the Marine Corps mindset, and I just can't thank you enough.
Absolutely.
And as we do with every podcast episode, Mac will close out the show.
You've been listening to GSF Podcast, the official podcast of the Gary Sinise Foundation. If you'd like to find out more about what the foundation is up to, or if you'd like to make a donation, please visit GarySiniseFoundation.org. Make sure to tune in next time for more interviews, and thanks for joining us.